In the golden age of cinema, she was a goddess, a woman whose beauty stunned audiences, whose presence lit up the screen, and whose name, Claudia Cardinale, became immortal in the history of film. But behind that luminous smile was a wound so deep, so unspoken, that it nearly consumed her entire life. At just 17, Claudia Cardinale became pregnant. Not out of love, not out of choice, but through violence, a brutal assault that would scar her forever. And from that moment on, she was forced to live a lie, even about her own child. This is not just the story of a screen legend, it is the story of a young girl silenced by shame, controlled by men, and trapped in the glare of fame. And yet, it is also the story of survival, resilience, and strength. Welcome to Back of a Day. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our deep dives into the untold truths behind the world's brightest stars. Now, let us step into the hidden world of Claudia Cardinale. The year was 1955. In Tunis, North Africa, a 17-year-old girl walked the streets with the shy demeanor of someone who did not want to be seen. That girl was Claudia Cardinale. And then, in a moment of cruelty that would change her life, she was attacked, assaulted, her innocence stolen. The result was a pregnancy. Imagine the terror. A Catholic family, a conservative world, a time when the word pregnancy outside marriage was a curse, a stain on a girl's life forever. Claudia was not just a victim of violence. She was forced into silence. Her family, terrified of scandal, told her she must never speak of it. The child, her child, could not be hers. When her son Patrick was born, Claudia was told to call him her younger brother. To the outside world, she was his sister. Only she and a few trusted people knew the truth. Think about it. To give birth, to hold your baby, and then be told you cannot call him son. You cannot kiss him in public. You cannot admit he is yours. You must pretend, always pretend. This became Claudia's first tragedy, and it would haunt her for decades. To understand Claudia's resilience, we must go back. She was born in 1938 in Tunis, then a French protectorate, to Sicilian parents. Her father was a strict railway worker. Her mother, a gentle but strong woman, worked as a homemaker. The family lived in a multicultural city filled with Arabs, Italians, and French. Claudia grew up speaking French and Tunisian Arabic before she even learned Italian. But despite the vibrant city life, she often felt out of place, shy, introverted, a girl who avoided attention. Unlike many future actresses, Claudia never dreamed of fame. She wanted to be a school teacher. She hated being looked at. In fact, she often described herself as invisible. But destiny had other plans. In 1957, at just 19, Claudia accidentally entered a beauty contest. She had no interest in it, but a teacher pushed her forward, and when she appeared on stage, the crowd gasped. Her exotic looks, dark hair, amber eyes, that mixture of Mediterranean cultures, captivated everyone. She won the contest, and suddenly, the film world of Rome was calling. She was invited to the Venice Film Festival. Producers chased her. Directors wanted her. She was, overnight, considered the new Sophia Loren, the next great Italian beauty. But Claudia resisted. She didn't want fame. She didn't even want to act. Her secret, her hidden son, was too heavy to carry. And yet, the offers were irresistible. She moved to Rome, signed contracts, took language lessons to soften her accent, and within just a few years, she became one of the most desired actresses in Europe. Behind the camera, however, she was still a prisoner. Her producer and later partner, Franco Cristaldi, controlled her career. He dictated her image, her roles, even her personal life. He also knew her secret and insisted it remain hidden. Claudia once admitted, "I was not free. I was living under a contract, a man's control, and a lie that haunted me every day." By the early 1960s, Claudia Cardinale was everywhere. She starred in Federico Fellini's Eight to Half, Luchino Visconti's The Leopard, and Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in the West. Each performance was iconic. Each film immortalized her beauty and magnetism. Hollywood noticed. She acted alongside Rock Hudson, David Niven, and Charlton Heston. She was cast in The Pink Panther, one of the biggest comedies of its time. The world saw glamour, elegance, perfection, but what they didn't see was the loneliness behind the eyes. On set, she was dazzling. Off set, she was forbidden to acknowledge her son as hers. Patrick grew up calling her Claudia instead of Mama. Imagine the ache of hearing your child's voice and not being allowed to answer as a mother. The more famous she became, the heavier the secret grew. The price of fame was not just privacy, it was motherhood itself. Claudia's personal life was equally tragic. Her relationship with Franco Cristaldi was complicated. He shaped her career, but he also controlled her, professionally and emotionally. Some even say he owned her, treating her more as a creation than a partner. She later married Italian director Pasquale Squitieri. With him, she finally experienced a more genuine love and had her daughter Claudia Jr. But even then, the shadows of the past followed her. Patrick, her firstborn, eventually learned the truth of his birth. It was not an easy revelation. For decades, he had been told his mother was his sister. The sense of betrayal, the stolen identity, the silence, it left deep scars on both of them. And for Claudia, the guilt never faded. She often said that the most painful part of her life was not being able to live openly as a mother when her son needed her most. As with many actresses of her era, Claudia also faced relentless comparisons. To Sophia Loren, to Gina Lollobrigida, to Brigitte Bardot. The press adored pitting women against each other. Who was more beautiful, who was aging better, who was winning the best roles. Claudia was often described as mysterious or reserved, but rarely did anyone. Aging, too, became its own burden. Hollywood, always hungry for young faces, began to overlook her. She moved into European cinema, more independent films, less glamorous roles. Yet she never stopped working, perhaps because work was her refuge from pain. But the truth was, the constant scrutiny, the constant hiding, had already taken its toll. As the years passed, something changed. Claudia found her voice. She finally revealed the truth about her son. No more secrets. No more lies. Patrick was not her brother. He was her son, and she embraced him openly. The world listened, and for the first time, Claudia seemed free. Her tragedy became her strength. She began to speak publicly for women's rights, for victims of abuse, for those silenced as she had been. She campaigned against domestic violence, fought for women in cinema, and became an advocate for human rights. Even as her health began to falter with age, she continued to inspire. No longer the shy girl of Tunis, no longer the silenced teenager, she transformed into a woman of resilience. And yet, the shadows never fully disappeared. In interviews, she often hinted that her greatest role was not in cinema, but surviving life itself. "Cinema saved me," she said. "It gave me everything, but it also took everything from me." And so we return to that moment. A frightened 17-year-old girl, holding a newborn child, told she must pretend he was not hers. That was the wound that shaped Claudia Cardinale. That was the tragedy that haunted her fame. And yet, she survived, through silence, through deception, through heartbreak. Claudia Cardinale's story is not just about beauty, or cinema, or stardom. It is about resilience. About a woman who carried the weight of tragedy in silence, and still managed to shine. This was Claudia Cardinale, not just a screen goddess, but a survivor, a woman who turned her pain into power. Thank you for watching Back of the Day. If this story moved you, please subscribe and join us for more untold truths behind the legends of our time. Until next time.